Life in vibrant, chaotic New York City may sound fascinating, but we bet you don't know half of the secrets that make this state so unique. And so strange, even to New Yorkers. Did you know, for example, that beneath Manhattan there are hidden tunnels and subway stations that are never used, yet remain intact? Or that in the northern mountains there are lakes so deep that scientists still don't know what lies at the bottom? And that there are entire abandoned towns swallowed up by reservoirs to supply water to New York City? New York is a state full of secrets as surprising as they are disturbing. So buckle up, because we're going to reveal 50 secrets about New York that even many New Yorkers don't know. 50. The subway station you almost never see. Deep under Lower Manhattan sits the decommissioned City Hall Station, once the grand terminus of New York's first subway line, opened in 1904 and closed in 1945. What's secret? That you can catch a glimpse of it by staying aboard the number 6 train when it loops from Brooklyn Bridge City Hall Station, or get onto one of the rare guided tours from the New York Transit Museum. The station is a cathedral of subway design, vaulted tile ceilings, chandeliers, skylights. Yes, skylights under the street. The kind of grandeur you don't expect beneath your morning commute. And the reason it's closed? Longer trains and tighter curves made the platform unsafe. It's like a hidden palace under the city for only the curious to visit. 49. The Little Red Lighthouse under the Big Bridge, over in Washington Heights. Tucked under the approach of the massive George Washington Bridge, you'll find the charming Little Red Lighthouse, officially Jeffrey's Hook Light. Built originally elsewhere and moved in 1921, it became obsolete after the GWB opened. What makes this a secret? Many New Yorkers never climbed down to the Hudson Greenway to see it, yet it's one of the few remaining lighthouses within Manhattan. Because of a children's book, The Little Red Lighthouse and the Great Gray Bridge, it was saved from demolition in the 1950s thanks to kids campaigning for it. The juxtaposition of tiny lighthouse plus giant steel bridge makes it feel like a fairy tale in the city, small yet meaningful. 48. The hidden old growth forest on Manhattan Island. Up in the Inwood neighborhood of Manhattan lies Inwood Hill Park, home to the largest remaining patch of old-growth forest on Manhattan Island. Many locals don't realize that within the most densely built borough of the most built-up city in the US, there still exists a place where you can walk among trees, hear birds, and feel a little away from the city. The terrain is glacially carved rock, natural hills, not the manicured lawns you see in Central Park. It reminds you how layered New York is. Modern city on top of ancient geology. If you need green and quiet in a city that rarely pauses, this is one. Before moving on to the next one, be sure to subscribe and like to discover interesting facts to share that few people know about the US states. 47. The humming pedestrian island in Times Square. Right in the heart of Midtown, on a little pedestrian plaza amidst the glare of billboards. Many passersby hear a low, odd hum that most don't notice. It's called the Times Square hum, or the humming vibration emanating from a pedestrian island in Times Square itself. Why is that secret? Because you'd expect chaos, honking, screens, not subtle vibration from something engineered beneath your feet. According to investigations, it's caused by ventilation systems and structural resonance. Next time you wait for the crosswalk, pause and feel the low hum. It's like the city's heartbeat you usually ignore. 46. The garden above the Midtown skyscrapers. Even in Midtown, above the hustle, lies a secret green spot, the Elevated Acre. On 55 Water Street is a hidden vantage garden terrace above the street with views of the East River. It's overshadowed by more famous parks. So many New Yorkers don't know it. According to Hidden Places guides, rooftop sanctuaries like this are tucked away above busy commercial corridors. Walking up the discreet stairs off the sidewalk, you'll find a quiet lawn, some trees, benches, and views. A surprising pause in a city built full tilt. It's like discovering a rooftop patio in the middle of a skyscraper jungle. 45. The secret community garden you can rent for a gathering. On the Lower East Side, the charming Le Petit Versailles Garden is a community-run green space at 247 East 2nd Street between Avenues B and C. Established in 1996 by artists, this oasis is tucked away behind a fence, offering events, performances, screenings by local community rules. Many New Yorkers pass by and don't realize there's this garden behind the brownstones. If you need a private little outdoor spot in the city, this is one of those hidden gems, a secret garden literally. 44. A former post office with New Deal murals, now public. During festivals like Open House New York, over 300 normally restricted sites open, including an abandoned Bronx post office with New Deal-era murals. Many residents don't realize the city is full of such hidden institutional buildings with historic art inside. These spaces were once everyday civic facilities and now lie quiet beneath radar. The idea, the secret art museum, appears when the doors open one weekend a year. If you've walked hundreds of blocks in the Bronx and missed the signage, you're not alone. 43. The East River cable car that feels like flying. The Roosevelt Island Tramway, a gondola cable car riding above the East River between Manhattan and Roosevelt Island, is one of NYC's more underappreciated secret vantage experiences. Most locals treat it as transit, not vantage point, yet the views mid-air, skyscrapers to one side, river to the other, feel like something out of Switzerland, not New York traffic. Ride at dusk and you get twilight hitting the glass towers. A mini adventure missed by many. 42. The forgotten Jewish print shop carving of the city. Hidden in plain sight in the Lower East Side is a little print shop sign in old Yiddish letters, carved into a building facade from the early 20th century, a quiet reminder of the massive Jewish immigrant print industry once centered there. Many locals walk by corners of Allen and Delancey without realizing the facade they're looking at once held a press producing books in Yiddish. It's subtle, unmarked, and easily missed, but that's precisely the secret quality. 41. The warehouse conversion that houses a mural of a subway car. In Brooklyn's industrial core, somewhere off Bushwick, there exists a warehouse turned loft building whose interior wall still features a full-sized mural of a vintage subway car. Locals who aren't in the art scene don't know the place. It's not on any tourist map, yet it captures New York's layering, manufacturing, transit, housing, art, all in one space. If you stumble into a rickety loft hallway and find tin ceiling remnants and subway motifs, you're likely in one of these hidden conversions. 40. The secret waterfall in Midtown Manhattan. You read that right. A real waterfall in Midtown, just a short walk from Grand Central, inside a pocket called Greenacre Park on East 51st Street, water cascades down a 25-foot granite wall. The sound of rushing water masks the traffic noise, creating an oasis right between skyscrapers. Most locals pass by without realizing the narrow entry leads to this calm hideout. Benches, ivy-covered walls, and misty air make it a small miracle of design. Privately owned but open to the public since 1971. It's the city's best-kept secret for a quick mental reset. 39. The hidden train tracks beneath the Waldorf Astoria. Beneath the legendary Waldorf Astoria Hotel lies a secret railroad platform known as Track 61. It connects to Grand Central Terminal and was originally built so VIP guests could arrive directly by train, unseen by the public. The most famous user? Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose armored train pulled directly below the hotel so he could enter discreetly. Today, the track remains closed to the public, but you can peek at its rusted gate from 49th Street. It's one of those rare James Bondish secrets that prove New York always keeps a card up its sleeve. 38. The Whispering Gallery of Grand Central. Stand at the arched corners near the Oyster Bar in Grand Central Terminal and whisper into the wall. The sound travels along the curved ceiling and is heard perfectly clear at the opposite diagonal corner. It's pure acoustics, no magic, no trickery. Couples have proposed here, commuters share jokes, and tourists are amazed when their soft murmur cuts through the echoing station. It's the sort of interactive secret that makes architecture feel alive. 37. The abandoned hospital on an island, visible from Manhattan's east side, Roosevelt Island hides the haunting shell of the smallpox hospital. Built in 1856 and left in ruins since the 1950s at night, it's beautifully illuminated. Its Gothic arches standing guard over the river. Few New Yorkers know it's a designated landmark, being carefully stabilized to prevent collapse. If you take a walk to the island's southern tip, you'll see it quietly holding history and mystery together. A real-life movie backdrop minus the Hollywood effects. 36. The subway entrance. That's a secret art gallery. Under Times Square, between the 1, 2, 3, N, R, Q, and S lines, lies an extensive mosaic installation called Times Square Mural by Roy Lichtenstein, MTA Info. Many daily commuters walk under it without a glance, assuming it's just decoration. In truth, It's a detailed homage to pop art and New York's comic book roots. Think of it as a free museum that you accidentally visit on your way to work. A reminder that art in this city hides in tunnels as much as in galleries. 35. The tiny oldest house in Manhattan. Amid the modern sprawl of the East Village stands a narrow little Dutch colonial house at 203 East 13th Street, known as the oldest surviving house in Manhattan. Dating back to the 1790s, it's easily overlooked between taller buildings, almost shy about its age. The structure is wooden, a rarity now, and reminds locals that Manhattan was once a small town. It's so inconspicuous that people walk past it thinking it's just another quirky brownstone. But inside lies the story of the island's earliest settlers. 34. The park with a secret piano. If you've ever strolled through Washington Square Park and heard spontaneous piano concerts, you've probably wondered how that piano got there. Well, it belongs to a mysterious musician known as Colin Huggins, who wheels a grand piano into the park on weekends. The secret: the piano is stored in a nearby basement with special permission, and volunteers help him move it. It's become a fixture of the park's culture, a literal rolling stage for free music in the middle of Manhattan. 33. The elevator that leads to a hidden cocktail bar. In Midtown, near 48th Street, stands Bar Below the Press Lounge, disguised behind an unmarked service elevator. You enter what looks like a hotel's maintenance door, ride down, and suddenly you're in a cozy candlelit speakeasy serving craft cocktails. New York has many hidden bars, but this one wins for pure surprise value. It plays on the city's Prohibition-era nostalgia while staying totally contemporary. If you like your drinks with a sense of mystery, this is your new haunt, provided you can find the entrance. 32. The forgotten beach inside a park. Yes, New York has beaches beyond Coney Island. Orchard Beach in the Bronx's Pelham Bay Park was built in the 1930s and still feels like a secret resort. But fewer people know that tucked at its far end lies a small, quiet cove locals call Twin Islands Beach. It's reachable via a short path and offers a surprising sense of seclusion, with views of Long Island Sound. In a city defined by noise, this patch of sand whispers back softly. 31. The secret room in the public library. The New York Public Library's main branch at Bryant Park is known for its marble lions and grandeur, but most don't know about the hidden map division room accessible only by special appointment. It houses over 500,000 maps, from nautical charts to 18th century atlases. Behind the hushed halls and carved ceilings, librarians preserve treasures of geography unseen by casual visitors. Imagine thousands of worlds inside one room. That's the kind of secret that would make even an explorer blush. 30. The subway tunnel that became a street art cathedral. Beneath Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn lies the Atlantic Avenue Tunnel, built in 1844, the world's oldest subway tunnel. For decades it was sealed and forgotten, until urban explorer Bob Diamond rediscovered it in 1980. The tunnel stretches half a mile, brick arched like a Gothic corridor. Though access is now restricted, photos show it transformed into a canvas for underground artists who once painted its walls. It's a place where graffiti met archaeology, the kind of mix that only New York could invent. 29. The building that isn't really a building. At 33 Thomas Street stands an eerie windowless monolith, the AT&T Long Lines building, designed to house telephone switching equipment. It's a skyscraper with no windows, built to survive nuclear fallout. Locals sometimes call it the Fortress. Its concrete brutalist design looks more like a dystopian movie set than an office tower. Rumors persist that it's used by data security agencies, though officially it's a telecom hub. Either way, it's the most secretive skyscraper in Manhattan, one that stares back at you with no eyes. 28. The tiny museum inside an elevator shaft. Near Cortlandt Alley in Tribeca hides the M-Museum, a micro-museum located inside a former freight elevator. Its glass panels reveal quirky exhibits, lost gloves, foreign receipts, miniature food, and objects of humanity. It's open to the street via a viewing window, so you don't even walk in. You peer through. Each object tells a weird story about modern life. While MoMA and the Met grab headlines, M-Museum reminds you that New York's soul thrives in the smallest corners. 27. The green roof. That's actually a farm. On top of the Brooklyn Grange buildings in Long Island City and Brooklyn Navy Yard, more than 2 acres of rooftop soil produce vegetables, herbs, and honey. Most people have no clue their salad might come from above a warehouse roof. The view mixes Manhattan's skyline with rows of lettuce. It's proof that agriculture and skyscrapers can coexist. When the wind sweeps through basil leaves while taxis honk below, you realize, even in New York, nature refuses to leave the chat. 26. The phone booth, that's a time capsule. Inside the Upper West Side's O'Hara's Irish pub, one phone booth still holds a working payphone connected to the original copper line. It's used so rarely that it's practically a private time machine. Most payphones vanished from the city by 2022, but this one remains because regulars demanded it. It's a small rebellion against disappearing analog life. When you dial from it, you half expect a noir detective to answer. That's how nostalgic it feels. 25. The art installation only seen by those looking up. Under the elevated High Line's Chelsea section, near at 10th Avenue and 18th Street hangs The River That Flows Both Ways, a stained glass installation by Spencer Finch. Each pane represents a moment of light reflected on the Hudson River. Most people walk right under it without noticing. It's like the city whispering, "Slow down, beauty's above you too." In a place where everyone's eyes are glued to their phones, it's a quiet optical rebellion. 24. The secret champagne vault under Grand Central. Deep below Grand Central's Oyster Bar lies a sealed room known as the Campbell Apartment's hidden cellar, once used to store champagne shipments during Prohibition. The tunnel network connected to private offices and even to the Waldorf's Track 61. Today it's closed, but legends say bottles were smuggled via secret dumbwaiters to the bar upstairs. It's that kind of elegant crime you imagine in black and white films, except it happened here, under commuters' feet. 23. The man-made island with a sculptural secret. Between Manhattan and Roosevelt Island floats Little Island, a public park built on concrete tulip-shaped pillars over the Hudson. The secret? Each tulip is uniquely shaped, no two alike, giving the island a natural-looking terrain. What seems random is meticulously engineered. Most visitors never realize they're walking on hundreds of individual pods. It's one of the city's newest wonders, futuristic yet peaceful, like Central Park lifted into the air. 22. The ceiling constellation painted backward. Look up inside Grand Central Terminal and you'll see a turquoise ceiling with golden zodiac constellations. But, surprise, the stars are painted backward. It wasn't a mistake, but a deliberate choice by the artist to depict the sky from a divine perspective. Few visitors notice that Orion's belt points the wrong way. Next time you're beneath that ceiling, remember, even perfection in New York likes to flip the script. 21. The hidden tennis courts inside a train station. Grand Central hides another oddity. The Vanderbilt Tennis Club, perched above the main concourse. What used to be a private club space is now a public booking facility where you can literally play tennis inside one of the busiest transport hubs on Earth. Players hit serves above thousands of commuters rushing below. It's luxury layered over chaos. New York in a nutshell. 20. The building with a stream running through it. Midtown's Ford Foundation building on 42nd Street hides an indoor forest complete with trees, ponds, and a running stream. The glass atrium is open to the public during office hours. Step inside and humidity changes. Birds sometimes wander in. Designed as a human-friendly workspace in the 1960s, it still feels futuristic. Most people think it's an office tower. They have no idea a rainforest lives inside. And 19, the block with the fake houses. On West 58th Street between 8th and 9th Avenues are two identical brownstones that look normal, except their windows are fake. They hide a substation for the subway below. You'd never guess behind those facades lies humming electrical equipment. The city built them to blend with the neighborhood's architecture, turning infrastructure into illusion. It's New York's version of camouflage, urban edition. 18, the park bench that grants Wi-Fi and charges your phone. At select locations like Washington Square and Prospect Park, certain benches are actually solar-powered smart benches. They collect sunlight and provide free Wi-Fi and USB charging. Most people sit unaware their seat is also a router. The idea started as a sustainability experiment and stuck. Only in New York could furniture multitask better than most employees. 17. The church that hides a rocket scientist's tomb. Inside the Cathedral of St. John, the Divine rests Robert Goddard, pioneer of rocketry. Visitors admire stained glass and Gothic arches, but miss his modest plaque in the side chapel. It's poetic that one of humanity's greatest dreamers of the sky is buried inside the world's largest cathedral, still under construction, as if heaven itself hadn't finished his ceiling. 16. The apartment frozen in time In an Upper West Side building, an untouched apartment remained sealed for nearly 70 years after its elderly owner moved to a nursing home. When opened, inspectors found furniture, photos, and decor from the 1940s, like a museum of everyday life. The story spread among local preservationists. It's a haunting secret reminder that in a city obsessed with change, time sometimes hides in padlocked rooms. 15. The bridge that sings. The Williamsburg Bridge produces a humming vibration when trains pass over it. Engineers call it structural resonance. Artists have recorded it to create ambient music. It's subtle but melodic, a steel symphony that echoes over the East River. While most see bridges as cold machinery, this one literally sings, proving New York can turn physics into poetry. 14. The fountain that's also a sun clock. At the Pulitzer Fountain near the Plaza Hotel, the shadow of its tears aligns with the time of day on sunny afternoons. Not intentionally, but so accurately that locals nicknamed it the accidental sundial. On clear days, photographers track the shadow's progression, leave it to New York to stumble into astronomy while decorating a traffic circle. 13. The library hidden in a phone booth. Inside the Ace Hotel lobby sits a repurposed phone booth filled with books, a micro-library run on honor system. Guests and wanderers can borrow or leave titles. It's a perfect symbol of the city's spirit, spontaneous, literary, and slightly cramped. Blink, and you'd think it's just decor. Look closer, and it's a community project disguised as nostalgia. 12. The sculpture that breathes with the wind at Pier 25 in Tribeca. A kinetic sculpture spins and shifts as the breeze changes, designed to move like the river currents beside it. It's one of those public artworks you only appreciate if you pause. The artist called it wind form. Kids think it's magic, adults think it's physics. Both are right. 11. The stained glass subway entrance. At 72nd Street on the 1, 2, 3 line, the station's entrance canopy glows with colored glass at sunrise, designed by artist Robert Wilson. Commuters rush past, unaware they're walking through moving color. Every morning it paints the sidewalk. An urban sunrise for those who look down too much. Before moving on to the top 10, remember to subscribe to the channel and give it a like to become a wise expert in American geography. 10. The bakery that uses a 120-year-old starter. Orwasher's Bakery on the Upper East Side still bakes bread from a yeast starter that's been alive since 1906. Few know that inside every loaf lives a century-old culture. Literally. The result is a flavor so distinct it can't be replicated. It's culinary immortality bubbling quietly on a Manhattan countertop. 9. The subway entrance that isn't on any map. Near 91st Street, sealed behind a metal door, lies the old IRT 91st Street station, closed since 1959. Only glimpsed by conductors as trains rush by, its mosaic tiles still gleam faintly in tunnel light. It's the ghost stop of the Upper West Side, a reminder that the city's veins evolve but never disappear completely. 8. The wall that's actually a public piano. In Flatiron, a sound installation called Play the Building uses hidden pipes and motors to turn a building structure into a giant instrument. Visitors hit keys that send air through the beams. It's both music and architecture fused. Most pedestrians never know they're walking past a playable skyscraper. 7. The oldest tree in Manhattan. Inside Washington Square Park stands an English elm estimated at over 300 years old, called Hangman's Elm. Despite its grim nickname, it's a survivor. Older than the park, older than the US itself. When you sit beneath it, you're literally under centuries of shade. Few locals realize they're eating lunch beside one of the oldest living New Yorkers. 6. The hotel room with a secret view. The Standard High Line has one corner room whose bathtub faces a panoramic window overlooking the Hudson. And it became infamous for skyline view selfies, but remains technically secret because only certain suites have it. Ask discreetly and you'll find out which. It's urban luxury with a wink. Voyeurism meets architecture. 5. The hidden beach under the Brooklyn Bridge. At low tide, a small sandy patch appears on the Manhattan side beneath the Brooklyn Bridge, known by locals as Dead Horse Bay Light. It's reachable from the South Street Seaport Promenade. For a few hours a day, you can touch river sand under one of the world's busiest bridges. Surreal proof that nature still sneaks into the skyline. 4. The statue with real eyes. On the Brooklyn side of the Manhattan Bridge Arch, sculptor Daniel Chester French used glass eyes inside the marble heads to make them gleam realistically in sunlight. It's subtle but eerie. They appear to watch you. Once you know it, you can't unsee it. Even art in this city insists on eye contact. 3. The elevator shaft turned rainfall exhibit. At 320 West 4th Street, a converted warehouse hides a private art installation where rain is simulated in a former elevator shaft using recycled water and timed lighting. Guests walk under droplets without getting wet. It's sensory magic, and unless you're invited, you'd never know it exists. It's one of those New York moments where science and art dance quietly behind a nondescript door. 2. The manhole that breathes steam from 1890s pipes. All around Midtown, the steam columns you see rising from manholes belong to the Con Edison steam system, operating since 1882, the largest in the world. But the secret is that one specific vent near 54th and Lex still uses an original Victorian-era cast iron valve. It exhales hot air like an ancient dragon in modern armor, the literal breath of old New York. 1. The hidden room in the Statue of Liberty's torch. Finally, the top secret, the torch chamber of the Statue of Liberty. Closed since 1916, it's still there, accessible only to maintenance staff. Inside, a spiral staircase leads to a tiny observation room once open to the public. After a munitions explosion damaged it, access was sealed. Today it remains one of the most exclusive rooms on Earth. Empty, silent, but eternally holding the flame. Lady Liberty's torch isn't just symbolic light, it's a literal hidden space glowing over the harbor. Now that you know the secrets of New York, tell me, do you think you could move to this state if you had the chance? Would you like to live there? We would love to read your thoughts in the comments and find out how many of us agree. However, what many of us will also agree on is watching the video on the screen, because we all like to have something to share and learn more, and that's exactly what this video will achieve. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a like. Otherwise, we may never see each other again.